My name is Glen Chamberlain. Hello to all the Turner relatives and friends. You're a good-looking group, and I should know because I'm one of you. Some joke. Anyway, we're here to honor and celebrate the life of a special person, Warren Turner. Warren was my neighbor. I grew up with him, so I know quite a bit about him. But he wasn't just my friend, he was my buddy. And he was my buddy for 75 years. But let me tell you how I met him. My family moved from the Renton area to Olympia in 1941, just before the start of World War II. And we were the next house east of the Turner home. And so I went out to explore the area where I moved to. And I came up to a barbed wire fence. I looked across a field. And on the other side of that field, there was a barbed wire fence and a kid looking back at me. It was Warren. I was 5, he was 8. Short time later, I heard a tractor running up and down that field. And I went out to look. It was a John Deere, that green in those days, just like they are today. It was plowing the field. And Warren was plowing that tractor at the age of 8. And I was so impressed. I used to go out and stand and watch him. And finally, because all I had was toy tractors. And here was this kid. He wasn't any bigger than I was. And he's operating that John Deere and plowing the field. So he stops one day. He says, "Hey, you want to ride with me?" Sure. So I climbed on and we plowed and we talked and we talked and we plowed. From that day on, he was either at my house or I was at his. And the thing I remember about Warren was he had curly hair in those days. And he always had on a freshly ironed shirt. And boy, I was so impressed because I didn't care about a freshly ironed shirt. But anyway, that was our early days. And then another incident came to mind just 3 or 4 days ago. We were together on a Halloween, and some other kids had their bicycles, and they were going trick-or-treating, and Warren says, "Come on, let's go." I said, "I don't have a bike." I'm either 7 or 8, and he was 10 or 11. He was 3 years older than I was. But he said, "Don't worry about it, just sit on the seat, and I'll pedal the whole way." So for 5 miles or so in the rain, he pedaled that bicycle, and to this day, I don't know why he did it. But he did. And I think that's when he moved. I advanced him subconsciously from friend to buddy. It made a difference. And so after that, Warren went to work for Olympian Auto Parts, delivering parts. And he saved his money, and he bought a 1941 Chevrolet coupe, black, business coupe. Never heard of one before, and haven't seen one since. Didn't have a back seat. I don't know why in the world they ever made it, but they discontinued business coupes about 1955, I guess. So it was a nice car. So it had to be his lucky car because that was the car Warren and I were in when he met Deanie, who later became his wife. So, right, Deanie? That was his lucky car. Everybody agrees. And so going back earlier, when he first got the car, he would say, "Let's go see the Turner family." And we'd make a trip up the east side, and we'd stop at Bill and Lois' home first, see Barbara, John, and Artie. 2 funniest little guys you ever saw in your life, John and Artie. There were 3 or 4, and Warren and I just cracked up. I can't even tell you what they did. It was so funny, but it was. Yeah, it really was. And the thing about the Turner family was Warren was the youngest, like Madge said, of the brothers and sisters. So they always greeted us like they hadn't seen us for 2 or 3 years. Great enthusiasm. I was 14 at the time. I guess Warren was 17, but it was a fun tour, the Turner tour. And after we leave Bill and Lois's, we'd go to Pete and Doris and Bobby. In those days, he was Bobby, not Bob. And Maxine, I don't know if he remembers me, but Pete would say, "Glen, you want a beer?" And I said, "No, thanks, I'm 14 more, Pete." Sounds like Pete, right? And anyway, it was a wonderful time, and those are some of my fondest memories of my younger days. But the sad thing about it is all those brothers, and they were terrific guys, all left at a young age, real young, way too young. So I think one of them, 36 or 7, would have to ask Lois about that, and another one or two in the 40s. I think his father left at something like 53. So Warren didn't have longevity in his family. It just wasn't any. And we used to talk about it. And when he hit 60, we used to call each other on our birthdays. And when he hit 60, he said, "You're still here?" "Yep, I'm still here." And when he was 70, "What are you doing?" Well, he was exercising, doing this and that. But I tell you, a lot of credit goes to Deanie. She fed him the right foods and make him push that lawnmower. That's true. Thanks, Dean. Thanks a lot. And the next thing is that I got to tell you a short story. Warren and I were my father owned a Hudson agency here in Olympia out on Martin Way. Today it's Aztec Bowling Alley. And he sold it about 1952. And Warren and I were there. And my father, they had a pinball machine at the entrance of the auto parts window. There was a small family area where you could sit and wait for your auto repair. And my father said it was a gambling machine. You put a nickel in, you could win nickels. And you had to be 21 to play the thing. So my father says, "I'm going out and back with some," Warren and I guess were there waiting to catch a ride home with him. So my father says, "I'm going out back with some customers. Don't play that machine." Well, what a 13-year-old kid heard was, "You can win money on that machine. Give it a try." So as soon as he goes out the door and back, he can hear the door close and put some nickels in the slot machine. And what's the old saying about mice and men? Anyway, best laid plans of mice and men. I thought, well, you can walk away. If he comes through the door and we can hear him, we can walk away and nobody will know the difference. Oh yeah, well I hit the biggest jackpot on that machine in nickels, and they're dropping into this big bin, clunk, clunk, clunk. You could hear it all over the building. And it goes on and on and on, and here comes my father with his customers. And I thought, boy, I'm in trouble now. Warren was mortified, absolutely, because he and my father had a special relationship. My dad would say things to him like, my dad really trusted Warren. He'd say, "Warren, keep an eye on him." Or he'd say, "Warren, don't ever lie to me." And Warren said, "I won't." I don't think he ever did. But anyway, so Warren was really embarrassed and bothered by me, and it was guilt by association. He didn't do anything. He was just there. But those nickels rolled around the showroom floor. It overflowed the bin. What?
Don't overrun your time.
Okay, well, I'm almost through. And later, I thought I'd get in trouble, but I found out later I didn't. And I found out later my father had been trying to beat that machine, had not succeeded, and he was impressed with my big win. So anyway, after that, I've got to tell you that I called Warren and Deanie's home just a month ago in December. Is it going out? Thank you. In December, and no one was home. So I said, well, I'll call the hospital. I called the hospital, and the operator put me through to the nurse's station. And I was just going to ask about his condition, but the nurse handed him the phone. I talked to him. He sounded a little tired, but I said, "Warren, I was in that same hospital in 1947 for a month with typhoid fever." He said, "Not this hospital, this is the new one." Anyway, went on to say, he said, "We had a good run, didn't we?" I said, "We sure did, Warren. I have no complaints." He said, "I don't either." And the way he said it with enthusiasm meant to me he had a terrific life. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, adding together his longevity, he went 8 years past the national average when he wasn't expecting to even get close to the national average. And he had a very happy and good life. What more can you expect from a celebration of life? And I know what he's going to say the next time I see him. He's gonna say, what took you so long? I hope he says the same thing to all of you.
Maybe one more.